Hi, Fashion Dolls. It is Motivation Monday, March 18th, and welcome to an all-new episode of Style by Stevie. Our very special guest today has been no stranger to the show. He's been on the show twice already. This is his third consecutive appearance. It feels great to be back. It's been so much that has been going on. We had the NAACP Image Awards. Congratulations to all the winners. It's been so much that has been happening over the weekend. I just didn't get a chance to cover it all, but hopefully I will today. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our very special guest, Amiri Thompson, back to the Dollhouse Fashion Dolls, all right? So I'm going to go on ahead and share this live with him and get him in here so that we can see what he's been up to in the year 24. Because the last interview I want to say we did was Christmas, around Christmas holidays back in 2023. So I'm super excited to have him back on so that we can catch up and see what he's been up to. I know he's got a couple projects that are going to be coming out as well, and I'm super excited to hear about them. I had to do something a little bit different. It is spring fashion season, so I had to bring a pop of color. So without further ado, let's welcome our very special guest back to the Dollhouse, Amiri Thompson, ladies and gentlemen. There we are. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Yourself, is great to have you back.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Always. So our last interview we did was back, I want to say Christmas holidays 2023,
Hmm.
headed into the new year
Yeah.
of 24. We're now in March, and it's about to be the end of March. So
All
we've still
right.
got a week left. So before we get into your projects, because you've got some projects that are coming
Yeah.
out, how has 2024 been for you so far? Because I know we didn't really get a chance to speak since our last conversation, which would have been back in December, going into the
Right.
new year.
Right. Um, I mean, 2024 is progressing. I mean, it's definitely it's coming along. I've been able to start new things setting up, especially with my production company and stuff like that. And I got a bunch of plans for later this year. Hopefully be able to knock all those out for this year. But so far everything's been steady pacing, and I'm just, going with the motions, but in a positive, like not just going in the motions just to make things happen, but going in motions to make sure I'm leveling up. So it's a good pace right now.
Absolutely. And that you have three projects that are coming out. But before we get to that, how is fatherhood? Because I think Easter's coming up. We just celebrated St. Patrick's.
Yeah.
My grandmother and my aunt's birthday was yesterday. So happy birthday to them as well. We
Happy
celebrated with
birthday.
them. So how are you ringing in and preparing for Easter? Because I know there's going to be a lot of egg hunts and things
Yeah.
coming up.
Yeah. So I got a couple friends. They're setting some like fundraisers and stuff up for kids, and I try to do whatever I can to just be involved because I know I will have him on. My son will be with me on Easter Sunday, so there's like a big Easter egg hunt and everything like that. Of course, he's not being deterred from the true meaning of Easter as well. You know, what I'm saying that's something me and his mother will always, instill in him and everything. But I think, at his age, at 5, him hanging out with kids his age, running
Yeah.
around, getting eggs and candy and money in it and stuff like that. I mean, that's all I would ever want at that age anyway. So we got some plans for that, but I always try to make sure I just have stuff set up for them to do that. But that's the biggest thing I think we got set up as far as Easter going.
So how are you balancing out with fatherhood, all of these events coming up? You got your projects that are gonna be coming up, which we're gonna get into. So how are you balancing everything?
I'm balancing it the best I can. I mean, some days are clearly tougher than others, but I try to stay as positive and optimistic as I can. I was actually looking into hopefully wanting to be already started on another project by now, but things got a little shifted. So, but it's not deterring me from like things are still going to get done no matter what. And the balance is good because for the most part, being if I am directing and producing a project, I make sure I set it up where it doesn't take away from the time I spend with my son. So, in this last project we just recently did, I would, put out the the schedule or whatever for everyone. And I made sure that either we didn't start until after the weekend was over with and then going into the next weekend. But then
Yeah.
even with that next weekend, I made sure we didn't shoot. I just did it as a Monday through Friday type of ordeal. Now clearly I don't have any control of that if I'm like a part of somebody else's project and they're like, hey, we need you on a Saturday or a Sunday or something like that. I try to make it work the best I can. I mean, as far as Sundays go, that's kind of like an off day completely just because we spend that together and then I have to meet up with his mother. So it's just one of those things where nothing's going to interfere with that no matter what. Not even my regular jobs that I do, regular day jobs. But I balance it out as well as I can. And until like something bigger, even though I feel like I've done a lot of big things now, but when God blesses me with like even bigger opportunities, I mean, I'm always try to like see if I can finesse that in where it doesn't deter or affect the time I have with my son because that means a lot to me. But I mean, if things have to be put to the side, he's very understanding. He's growing up, so he's like now understanding like dad works, and the only way he can get things is dad work. So
Yes.
so it's been working out. Yeah.
Now you have three projects that are coming out. One is already in pre-production, and you have Hi Okiwa. Long time no see. It is a pleasure to see you again. We definitely got to catch up, so we got to set something up for the spring, summer coming up. But you have three projects that are coming up. You have Three Secrets. You have
Mm-hmm.
Bonnie and Clyde, which we talked about the last time, which stars
Yeah.
Nelson Davis. He's in the film. And you've got Hello Karen, which is already in pre-production.
Right.
So which project are you looking forward to the most?
I guess, and I'm actually looking forward to all of them just because, and not just being biased about it because I'm a part of it, but just because all three of these films are a new level of me in doing this and acting and everything like that, directing and stuff like that. I'll start by saying I'm excited about Hello. Well, hold on, I'm gonna say that one for last. I'm excited about Bunny and Clyde because that was like my first project where I controlled the means of everything. I was the director. I wrote it. I'm acting in it. I got my crew, the guys I always work with, but they let me take the reins on everything with that. So I'm excited to see that I have actually seen the project at its full entirety, and I'm excited for people to see it. So that's actually coming out in June, from what I heard. So sometime in June, look out. It'll more than likely be on like Tubi, Amazon, Roku, Vudu, Hoopla. But I'm very excited about that because like that now the world can see like this is kind of how I film in certain styles. We do different styles, but this is one of those styles that's different from everybody else's kind of style. We wanted to hit it with a different angle, and I think everybody's going to enjoy it. It's a great story and everything like that. Three Secrets, I'm very excited about because once again, I'm with the production guys I've worked with before over at BR Films. But this one was Marquand actually wasn't in the lead reins of this. It was the other production owners, Eric Wynn and Matthew Smith, and they were the directors of this film. And it was exciting to work with them again, because they got to really express themselves on how they wanted this story to come together. And I never got to see the final. I haven't seen the final film, but the days I came in and they asked me to work on it, we did a lot of crazy stuff. I'm just gonna say, like, I love that I choose characters or get involved with characters that are different from any other character I've ever done with. And once again, this is another character where you kind of just like, I mean, if you've seen Monogamous, you've seen how, Dirty Husband, Dope Boy Magic, the detective that was, crooked and, on his homeboys and stuff like that. Christmas Spirit, that's a completely different thing from those two characters. And now with this character, Three Secrets, this guy is just, I mean, there was days, and it's not spoiling nothing. There was just days we were on set, and I would like say these lines, and I was just like, really, this guy really is. Like I would finish it, and I'd be like, man, people ain't gonna like me. It's just like, what is up with this guy? But it's just leaving it at that. But I'm very excited for that to come out. And I will say, Hello Karen, even though it's in pre-production, I've read the script. I think it's gonna be the most impactful one as far as like how society views certain things today, and definitely hitting on racial tones about race and like differences, but understanding like we are all people in a general sense
Yes.
as well. Um, that might. I'm very excited about that. That one's a really good one that I'm looking forward to getting started on, and hopefully in time we'll have that coming up as well. So I'm looking forward to shooting that.
Now, one character in particular, because you remind me so much of another actor that I've interviewed before, and I just did an interview last week with Damian T. Raven, and we talked about this actor, and I'm pretty sure you
Hmm.
know who I'm talking
Yeah,
about. Y'all names sound so similar. He played Jerome Saint on Snowfall, and we did an interview together. Eamon Joseph. When I did my
yeah,
interview with him, this was around the time we did the pandemic hit. This was 2021, 2020, I want to say,
yeah.
and we're doing it like how we're doing it now. And I said almost all of your characters are villains. Almost all of your characters are evil in some sort of way. But the character, you know which character I'm talking about, and that is Malachi in A Long Way Home. To see you
Oh
as this character,
yeah.
it's just like he's such a nice guy because I've had you. This is your third appearance here on my platform,
Right.
and when I talk to you, you're such a nice guy. But for this character, Malachi, tell us about this character because I've seen the trailer for it. I've seen you post clips of this character, and
Yeah.
Malachi's not wrapped too tight.
Yeah.
So
No. So, well, first of all, shout out to Drew Richard. You know what I'm saying? With his production company, he came to me with this role, and he was kind of like, "Hey, man, I got this movie I want you to be in." I was like, "Sure." He's like, "It's a horror movie." I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." He was like, "Yeah," but he was like, "But I want you to be the killer." I was like, "You want me to do what?" I was like, "All right." Well, I was like, I mean, it's completely different than what I normally do. And then he was like, "But you ain't really got you ain't got lines like that." I was like, "Hey, that's cool." I was just like, I'm all about my actor, so you know what I'm saying. I'm like, the physicals is what I love more than anything, and like the best thing I want to do, as long as like me and the people in the scene are comfortable with what we're about to do, I want to make this as real as possible, and it was interesting playing that, with the mask on and everything. I wish I'd have to find it, but there's a picture of like my son was actually around with me during shooting that, and
I was just about to ask.
yeah, so there was like this scene clearly he did not see, but he was hanging out in like other rooms and stuff, hanging out with other kids and stuff like that. But then he saw the mask and everything, and don't say he's weird, but he can definitely hold his own when it comes to horror movies because he put the mask on, he's running around with the axe, and everybody's just like, oh, okay. So he's a comfortable, and I've never like put him onto that or nothing like that. This is when I knew maybe he's gonna. I feel like he's gonna be a big horror movie fan, is because like I showed him a clip. It was like a little clip from it was from Child's Play. And now, mind you, when I was his age, that terrified me. That kid, the doll, everything, the boys, like, same age, everything like that. But it was a clip saying, but it was in Spanish. So it was like the subtitles was like, you're hearing Chucky talk to her when she comes to life at the end of the movie or whatever. But it sounds like a Mexican Sylvester Stallone. Like, I kid you not. It was hilarious. So I'm showing it to him. He's laughing about it. And I'm just like, so then he was like, well, what movie is this? So then I explained it to him the best way I can without going too dark into it. And I'm just like, this bad guy, ends up in this doll, and he comes after this little boy because he wants to be the little boy. I mean, I had to be honest with him, and he was just kind of like, "That's crazy, Dad." And I was just like, "Yeah, that's crazy." And he was like, "Can we watch that?" I was like, "Oh, I did." So then one day we ended. It was a rainy day. We had nothing to do. I was like, "I'm gonna put this on, but if you want me to turn it off, just tell me." And he watched it until he fell asleep. Like, he just went to sleep casually. He didn't wake up in the night. I was like, this kid is crazy. I was like, cause me, I'm still up looking around the room like, is Chucky gonna come out here or what's gonna happen? But yeah, I like dark roles. I like because it gives me, even with the three secrets character. Excuse me. Um, he is he's got a twist. I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't want to say too much about it, but I like him because it's challenging. It's definitely outside of who I am, and I think as an actor, we want to like push ourselves and see what are we capable of without
Yes.
necessarily harming ourselves or others. But like, the art of it is trying to express these human beings that in a time somewhere in another world or another universe or even in this world today, they exist. These people exist out there, and telling that story or showing that piece of a story to everyone, I feel like is a great gift to have if you're capable and able to do it, you know.
Absolutely. Now, you have a range of characters that you played. And I mean, the Christmas spirit, but almost the other characters that you've done, I said, have been very evil, very dark. Now, for Malachi, what was it like having to, did you ever have to take a moment and say, okay, I'm no longer Malachi, I'm Amir now. I'm no longer this character. Have you ever had to, but you took your son
So,
on set and you played around on set and things like that. Was going
oh
to be my
yeah,
next
yeah,
question. But have
yeah.
you ever had a moment where it's just like, okay, I'm no longer the character, I'm myself now?
So when I was attending North Carolina A&T, Aggie Pride, shout out. I was studying theater there, and our head professor, Miss Frankie Day, God rest her soul, wonderful woman, like an amazing teacher, and she was always uplifting to me and stuff like that. But I was like, we used to do these monologues and stuff, and I did this one monologue, and to this day, I want to see this as a movie. And if I could do an indie project on it, I would. And I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it was on like in New York and Broadway. I think at one point Don Cheadle played one of the characters that
Oh,
I'm about to talk
yeah.
about. But
Mhm.
but it was Top Dog Underdog, and I don't know if you heard about that, but if not, it's a great book, great play. I've never seen the play, but I've read it. And there's a monologue. It's about these two brothers and everything like that, and it's almost like a Cain and Abel story, almost in a sense, if you think about it. And actually, this is just a side note. I have a story similar that I wrote that I've been wanting to shoot for a long time called Sons of Genesis, but that's a whole nother thing. But there's a monologue in there, and it's not trying to spoil anything, but this character does something that is basically irreversible, and you can tell he's in regret, but denial. But there's all these different mixtures of feelings, and I did this monologue, in front of my class, in front of my teacher, and that I will possibly say that was probably the very last time I got lost in a character because I was so emotionally in tune with what was happening or what had happened or what he had done. And I'm crying and I'm like there and like the scene is over and I'm still feeling and even some of the students was kind of like, man, are you all right? Like, you kind of like went there, and I was just like, yeah, it took me a moment to pull back, but I learned from that about, yeah, be in that character. But when I'm on a set, man, I just need, we'll do our rehearsal and everything. Like, I'm down to do, like, I always adapt to whoever I'm in a scene with. So, like, however this actor feels, if they want to go over lines together, we can. If they'd rather just wait till we actually start shooting, we can. I mean, most of the times we do go over the scenes because we got to do blocking and everything to know where we're standing, where we're walking, everything like that. But once when that goes in, I don't really turn on the character until they say, camera ready, and then action, and then that's where I'm in that character right then and there. And when it's cut, I'm back to Amir. I don't mind method actors. I get it. I see why people want to, be that character on set all day, every day. It's
Yeah.
perfectly fine. I respect it because it does help you, and you never know what's gonna pop out when the time to hit. You might say something that be like, damn, I didn't even think about that. I just personally myself, I like to leave it there. Like it's for that moment, and then when it's over with, it's over with. I tend to, depending on what it is, I tend to be. Sometimes I'm quiet in the corner somewhere, not even thinking about the character. I'm just like chilling or whatever. Sometimes I'm just laughing with a couple of crew or whatever. We're talking about, oh, gotta go run on set. Hold on. So I mean, I try not to take away from who I am, but I don't, I keep it separate just because it's just that level of energy. And I don't know, I just feel like I'm still learning, but harnessing that energy when it's needed and not letting it be, the thing that takes control of me throughout the whole day. Because it's not me. And that's the biggest thing I understand. It's like it's not me. I'm not Malachi. I'm not Dougie from Bunny and Clive. I'm not, Gabriel from Christmas Spirit. I am showing an embodiment of this individual in a life
Right.
at a scene in their life where this needs to be exposed, and then I do that, and then when it's over with, I am Amiri Thompson. It's just that's it.
Now, for A Long Way Home, what were the reactions of people? Because you said your son was on set. What did your did your other family members see the project, and what has been the reactions and responses from people?
I mean, I mean, everybody was just kind of what they knew it was me because that jacket I've had for a while. But I mean, everybody was kind of just like, I don't know what, I'll be honest, I don't know what my family has said. As far as my extended family, like, because my parents have no longer with us, but like my cousins and stuff, I haven't really heard much from them. I know they don't tend to watch movies like that, so I don't even know if they probably even watch that. But I mean, most people was just like, damn, Amir, I mean, okay, go crazy. Be a crazy axe killer, you know what I'm saying? It's been, I mean, it's all positive, even though like the movie isn't positive, but it's positive feedback. And I just wanted to say I was able to do that at least once. You know, we approached it very like Michael Myers esque type, like where is he dead? Is he not dead? Is he, what I'm saying, like, why is he so strong? Granted, I'm 6'2", 6'3", but you know what I'm saying, like, why is he so strong? If he just didn't have his parents and he grew up, like, was he just doing push-ups for 20 years or what? I don't know. There's a lot of things that I loved about it because I never played a role where there was so many open there's questions to be asked that kind of leaves it up to the audience to believe what they want because I feel like no answer is the wrong answer. And so, my son, he, like I said, he wasn't watching like the actual moments of I didn't want him to see all of that, and everything, but he did know I had a mask. He did know I had an axe, and he knew what to do with that. He does know what people do with that. So, even though he's kind of self-aware of what happens with it, he did not see his dad like do a scene where I was just, acting the person up or whatever. So yeah.
Then you got your 3 projects coming out. What's next? What's next?
So those three are coming. Like, Three Secrets is coming out this probably before Bunny and Clyde, so that probably in another month or two. Then Bunny and Clyde comes out in June. Then we'll be shooting Hello Karen. I actually just shot another Christmas movie um, in January, right after my birthday. We were trying to shoot it in December, but getting with the production team and everything, we had to push it. So, but it's called A Holiday for Harmony, and I actually teamed back up with the sweet little girl Sarah Watson from the first Christmas Spirit, who played Joy. And I told her, because I told her parents, me and her parents are really good friends, and I'm like her second dad. I treat her like she's my own. She's 11 years old, or excuse me, I think her birthday just passed. She's 12 now, and it's crazy to watch her grow. Cause I've known her since she was about 8 years old when I had her on Take Me to Amazing, my first project. And I told her, I was like, I'm going to give you a project where it's about you, and this movie is about her. And she plays this girl named Harmony, and I play her uncle, and basically, the uncle is he's the owner of. I had to use a place I worked at and trying to promote it out more, but it's an arcade and a bar. So he's like an owner of this, and he's kind of struggling with it. But her mother is they're brothers and sisters, and they were estranged for a few years because of a falling out and everything. But finds out unfortunate events, she ends up passing away unexpectedly, and now he's asked to, be the guardian of her, but not unbeknownst to him, he didn't want to do it, but there was actually a big trust fund that was saved for her, and it shows you could see a motive of, oh, this could help me, but then he's building this
Yeah.
relationship with her, but then her father comes back into play, who's played by Christopher Cooley Thomas. Love him always. Keep him on deck. Shout out to him. He's a great actor, man. He's growing so much. And I wanted to do this, and then, like I said, make it be about her. But the story is like it's very warm. I tried to hit the same notes that I was hitting with Christmas Spirit. Giving you a different vibe of a Christmas movie, but you know, put it in a different element where they're at an arcade, and her mother, like her mother was a famous singer. That's why she left the trust fund. She used to be like back in the early 2000s, like a famous singer, and then she stopped singing because she had her daughter and everything like that. So she was stuck well, not stuck, excuse me for saying that, but like she chose to be a mother than to stay in the entertainment business, and that was their thing. And it's a good story. So we finished that. It's in post production right now. So we're in editing right now, and hopefully getting that turned in. That'll hopefully come out at the end of this year. I usually think Maverick likes to be doing the holiday movies to come out the prior year. So, like I said, if we would have shot in December, it would have been out anyway, just like we did Christmas Spirit the year before and everything. So, hopefully, that'll be coming out maybe around November, December of this year as well. And then I can hop on next project I got called The Lineup. Um, that's in pre production right now, so it's still script development, but it's been greenlit as far as the idea and the synopsis of it. But it's a interesting story. It's kind of hitting like almost like a thin line between love and hate meets boomerang type style of a character dealing with some stuff and dealing with women. The lineup, if that makes sense. And yeah, I'm excited about that one as well because I'm gonna be working with some new people, and I'm just trying to expand and keep growing and everything. I mean, the goal for me right now, realistically, is I'd like to do at least 5 more projects this year, at least film out 5 more projects. That's including the lineup, and then 4 more down the road. But God willing, and keep me focused and everything like that, we'll get it done.
Absolutely. I'm so proud of you because you're able to balance out, and I see your posts. I might not like everything, but I see your posts and how you balance out fatherhood and working on your projects with being a producer and director. It's a lot. And I touched on this last week with Damian T. Raven on because he has girls. I told him it's different than raising, and then he has a son too. His son is old, out already. He said his son was in his 30s, and
Wow.
I asked him about
Is that
fatherhood.
old?
Yeah,
That old?
Damien has been in the business for a long time, and
Wow,
we
wow.
talked about fatherhood and how he's able to balance out writing and directing film projects. You are the same way. And even for me being in this business, I've learned that as well too, being able to balance out, okay, being, being a sibling, being someone in the family that has to step up to the plate as well too. Because I have a nephew now, and we talked on that the last
Yeah.
interview. I said my nephew has been welcomed into the world. So I'm an aunt now. So
Okay.
with me having to balance that out and then do this platform, and then my mom, I have to be hairstylist to her. I got to be secretary. I got to do
It's a
everything.
lot of
So it's
hats you
like
wearing.
a lot of hats. So I
Right.
totally get that. And I just wanted to let you know that I am so proud of you. So I see everything. I don't like everything
I
because I'm just
appreciate.
like, okay, I
No, it's
see it.
fine. No,
Yes.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank
But
you.
I'm so
Thank you.
proud of you to be able to balance all these jobs and then your projects you have coming out. What else are you looking forward to in the year 2024? Because we did our second interview back in
Mhm.
2023. We're
Right.
now in the year 24. And as you can see, it's award season. We just had, when I introduced you, I said the NAACP Image Awards was what,
Right.
Saturday? And we're
Yes.
seeing all the award shows going on. So for you, what are you manifesting? What else are you manifesting for the year 24?
So my goals, I would have to say, is like I said, I want to finish out all those projects. I want to end the year out where I am completely immersed as far as into my production, where I don't work nowhere else. I mean, I bartend and stuff like that, but the goal is to be done with all of that and just to be
Right.
completely like a working writer, actor, director, however you want to put it, entertainer, artist. That is a huge goal for me, and I without a doubt feel it is very obtainable as long as I stay focused and keep going for what I need to do. Um, I mean that's the biggest thing I think about building, still building a relationship and being consistent with my son, is always a big thing for me. Uh, he'll be going to the first grade in fall, so that'll be like, a new level of something that I've never experienced until I was in the first grade, so that's been a long time. That's been like 30 years in the making itself. And but yeah, I mean that honestly that's the biggest thing. I want to do that. I mean, build credit, always always build credit. That's one thing I want to do, build credit. Maybe I do have have shout out to my mentor James Davis. We did start we're both co-founders of a nonprofit organization called Brother to Brother. It hasn't launched fully yet, but it's definitely something that is like, and it's not in the terms of just helping men, it's also helping women. But we know how it is as like learning from him, like being a father and a single father, and maybe you're going through certain legal things that need to be had, but you're not knowledgeable of those things. We want to be a resource outlet for you to get knowledge on all that information, the best lawyers to talk to. If you're dealing with, if you're living and maybe living in a home and you got two kids with you and you're not able to pay a bill, like give you the resources and funds to help take care of that so y'all can continue to go forth and everything like that. So that's something we're building on, but it's launching, and we're like, that's something like I'm big on because I've lived it. You know, James has lived it. He's guided me through certain things I've dealt with, in past recent events and stuff. And it's just like there are men out there who, that are really trying, that are really trying to be proactive fathers, trying to be in their children's lives. And unfortunately, this is not bashing at all on women or mothers or nothing. But
No.
sometimes resentment keeps people from looking at the bigger picture. And unfortunately, those resentments lead to these emotions that want to feel like, well, this is how I can get back at this person by not allowing them to have access to something they both created. And that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Man or woman, no one should be doing that to each other. Where the bigger picture is y'all have a life together and y'all are about to raise an amazing human being, and they need to see us put whatever we had to the side and understand that we are here together for them, because the only thing they're looking at is mommy and daddy. You know what I'm saying? They're not looking at, well, she did this back then, or he did this to me, or whatever it is, because they don't need to even know about it. But let alone they don't need to be understanding that kind of stuff at
Right.
a young age. You know what I'm saying? All they need to know is that both their parents are there for them and that they love them. But sometimes, like I said, personal things get involved, and people feel like they can't do that at a time. But we want to be a resource tool to help those individuals who are dealing with that, to help them get the access to their children, because the child deserves both mother and father. You know. But yeah, overall, like that's all my big plans. Of course, there's always huger goals. I would love Marvel to come knock on my door or something like that and be like, hey, in a new series or something. But God willing, that's down the road. If that's placed in my future, then I'd be thankful. If not, as long as I'm doing what I love, I mean, I think I'm very happy.
Absolutely. And I'm going to go back for a second on something you said. It's not, you you can't keep someone away from their child.
Right.
A child deserves to be in a happy home with both of their parents,
Absolutely.
and sometimes it doesn't work out. So you have to look at it as this person is doing their part as well too. There are fathers out here who are doing their part to be in their children's life, and this is coming from me
Absolutely.
as a woman, because you said that. I was like, oh yeah, yeah. But yes, there are men that are trying to be in their children's lives out here. So it's not all their fathers out here that are doing that are it's some
Right.
that are out here doing what they're supposed to be doing, and then the ones that are not, you let them go do their thing.
Right.
But focus on the ones who are doing what they're supposed to be doing out here. And I'm glad that you're giving back and doing that as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's big, because it's just we all need that help. If we don't know what we're doing, then we're almost lost. I mean, the system. I'm not gonna lie, the system is very tricky, and the system is very finicky and picky. And if you don't know the right things to say or do and everything, you're literally in a trap. It's a trap. And now you can make it out of it and be good and everything, but it's just so many things you got to be knowledgeable about. And it's just like I want to be able to tell people about those things. I want them to know this is what you can do, this is what you can do to reach out, for people, when you want to, like, well, I'm trying to get more custody time with my child and everything like that. So all right, this is who you need to contact and this is what you need to do, and like dealing with the relationship and whatever's going on, because like I said, I feel like it's a personal thing when you're talking about that, because honestly, it shouldn't even have to go to court, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In my personal opinion, we shouldn't have to do that. We shouldn't have to let a third party dictate and tell us what we need to do with our lives with our child. That makes no sense to me. But unfortunately, people do that. You know what I'm saying? People want to, have somebody else tell them what to do because then they also feel like that's a way to show them now. Yeah, you can't come see me, you can't come see the child and everything like that. I just feel like, it's not fair for man, for mother or father. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, there are fathers out there who kept their children from mothers too, and I know some, and it's sad and it's messed up. And I just want to be an outlet and help people find those resources.
And it's heartbreaking watching the custody battles play out because another thing that I touched on as well too on my platform is that there are so many kids in foster care, you know,
Hmm.
come from different homes, different walks of life. And the system, as you said, I agree 100% has failed them because there's still lots of Black children that are in the system under foster care that do not have homes, that do not have parents
Right.
to love and care for them.
Right.
And it's sad. They're just going to like find these children homes. They need role models in their lives as well too that can
Absolutely.
be there and help them.
Absolutely. And one thing I've told myself, and it sat with me for a long time. I have my son now. I'm not sure what the future's going to hold, but when I do settle with someone, and maybe we have a child, maybe two children, whatever, I do know when we decide on being like we want like one last child, I want to adopt that child. Only because, well, this is the only reason, but the biggest reason for me is I was adopted at birth. So this is like a huge thing. So, I want this child to understand how special they truly are because, granted, we are not blood. That doesn't take away the love I can have for you and what I will have for you and what I will do for you and everything like that because I had two people do that for me, you know. And if they were able to do that and all I know is them and that's my mother and my father and everything like that,
Yeah.
blood ain't gonna make us any closer. You know what I'm saying? Blood is just blood. It's just DNA. But I want to do that for a child. God knows the plan. He knows the day of when that child will ever be brought into this world. But I just know for a fact that that child will be, and with me, it'll be a special place in my heart because they're gonna be understanding like, oh, I have something in common with my dad. We were both adopted. And then don't make them feel left out. Feel like they're like this was an act. They're not an accident. They're not a mistake because they weren't a mistake because they were meant for me. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. This child down the road, whenever they come, that child was meant for me. Not for anyone else but for me. So definitely a big thing that sits on my heart.
Yes. So that's gonna happen. I'm manifesting that in the future for you as well to another kid because like I said, there's so many kids out here who do not have homes
Right.
or parents or families that care for them. And then there's relatives. Sometimes the relatives they don't even know about other relatives. They have to go and thank God for ancestry, DNA,
Right.
and locating other relatives, long lost relatives that you had no clue about. I watched the film and I cannot remember the title of it. I'm drawing a blank. But this young man was placed in a foster home. And so he went and he did his own searching and he found out that he had a grandfather and he reunited and connected with his grandfather. So these things are possible. It can happen. They can have family they don't even know about.
Absolutely.
But there are people out here, they need to know that there are people out here who love and care about them and not just go to waste in the system.
Exactly. I agree. I completely agree.
Had to get that off my chest because it's been bothering me. I see it and I touched on it with my girlfriends, Stephanie and uh, Tyasia. They touched on this when we had our little girl talk. We talked about it and how the system for foster care children, children who do not have homes or families who love and care for them, they have to go out and think for themselves. They don't know. So they need role models in their life, 100%. And it's important.
Absolutely.
All right, fashion dolls. On a lighter note, before we close out, Amiri, any final words of encouragement that you would like to give to anybody that's looking to become a filmmaker or director? And again, I'm so proud of you. I see everything that you're doing, and I'm just proud of you.
I appreciate that. The only thing I can say is I saw one post somebody that said something about being a first time director, and they were just wanted some tips. It was in one of the Black filmmakers groups I'm in. Um, just just stay with it, man. Honestly, like not, no decision is a wrong decision. Always expect the unexpected. You know, I prepare for the worst on any day I'm filming because if I can prepare for the worst, usually it doesn't happen. So then I can like have a like, oh, this is a good day. You know, the set didn't burn down, but I mean, stick with it. Like no story is a bad story in my opinion. It just depends on who's telling it.
Yes.
You know, there are so many things that we can do as filmmakers to express issues that are going on in the world that people need to know or that people didn't know about. You know, I mean, sure we can make fun movies, comedies. You know, we can we can tap into those hood movies and everything like that. But over time, there are other stories that really need to be told that I think resonate more. And I think that's a defining moment between are you just somebody who wants to make movies or are you really making films? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, um, you know, I I like to make movies. I do because it's fun. You know, it definitely is fun. But I mean, making something that can really sit on your heart after you already turned it off, I think is what makes me feel like that's why I want to be an artist because I love all aspects of art from painting to music to everything. Um, and but everything always ties into one big factor, and it's your emotions. And it's like you can look at a painting and it'll make you feel a certain way. You can hear a song and it'll make you feel a certain way. You watch a film and it's gonna make you feel a certain way. And I like to have stories where I do want to not necessarily say I'm controlling your feelings, but I want you to feel this because I feel like this is something that needs to be said. Like how you feel about this moment, and everything. So as a person who is trying to be in the film industry, don't give up. Stay with it. Don't just accept no because you're gonna get 1,000 no's regardless. It's gonna happen anyway. You might as well just accept that rejection and just move on to the next thing. Um, don't don't beat yourself up on things you can't control. Some things are out of your control, and like I said, stay consistent, stay persistent, and stay positive, man. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you can make a movie, and maybe it's terrible. Maybe it is terrible, but you know what? There are a ton of people who don't even know how to do that. There are so many people who don't even know how to do it, and yeah, they're gonna have an opinion on it. They're gonna have an opinion, maybe like, "Oh, that movie was bad." It's like, yeah, but you can't do it. So we'll make a better one. You make a better one. Because my thing is like at the end of the day, there are people. There's a small group of people who do this, and we love it for the fact that we love it. And regardless if it's good or bad, we're still doing it because we love it. People are gonna always have opinions. Just like they say, what assholes, everybody got one. Like we all got one. Everybody got an opinion. So at the end of the day, whether it's good or bad, my thing is as long as I'm learning for myself and I'm trying to be better than I was yesterday, that's all that matters. So be your own competition. Don't worry about the person next to you. Don't worry about that person who just made it yesterday and now they're a millionaire. Okay, that's great. God had a plan for them, but God has a plan for you as well. And as long as you stay focused on that, you're gonna get it. So that's pretty much what I got to say about that.
And to add on to what Amir just said, I'd be remiss if I didn't. It is International Women's History Month, all the way up until April, celebrating us. And I want to give a very special happy birthday to the Queen, Vanessa Williams, who I had the pleasure of interviewing here on my show. She has a quote
Hey,
that goes like this. She says, "Being true to yourself is the key to finding happiness. In this business, we get so caught up and our heads get above and beyond sometimes. But it's all about having a sense of being humble, and that's what I've learned as well too, growing in this business, because I started right after high school, 2014, and to see how far we've come now in 2024, 30 years of my
mm-hmm.
life of living. As I've grown, I went back and watched some of my past stuff over the weekend. Now I've gotten comfortable with watching my interviews, because remember, you guys have heard me say it at one point in time, I don't watch any of my interviews. You guys, you don't watch yourself. um I tell you why I don't. Because I go back and I critique myself so harshly. Now I've
Yeah,
gone back and I've gained the confidence to say, wow, now I see what people are saying. Whereas before, I'm just like, no, I don't want to watch myself.
Right.
I know I'm going to point out something wrong. And they're just like, we don't see what you see. The person doesn't see what you're seeing. So you got to be happy.
Mhm.
And that is the key to finding yourself, is finding happiness. So it starts with yourself. And that comes from the Queen, Vanessa Williams. And not only is she celebrating her birthday today, but Queen Latifah is also celebrating her birthday
Hey,
today. So
hey,
happy 54th Queen. If you ever see this, thank you, women, so much, especially you, Vanessa, because growing up in this business, even right after high school, Vanessa's been a fashion icon to me. She's been a beauty icon to
right,
me. And I've
right.
always worn the red lipstick on the show. When I did my interview with Amiri back in December, I had red lips, but now today the lips are glossy. So I said I couldn't do red with this outfit. I wanted to do something very toned down. But yes,
Oh,
you women have been the
side
blueprint.
note, side note, because happy birthday to Vanessa Williams. Man, they did Terry wrong in Soul Food. I don't care what anybody say, man.
Oh,
They
yes.
did her wrong. I don't care. When you watch that movie again, and you really look at that, because I was a kid watching it, but I looked at it now, I was like, yo, why did everybody do her so dirty? A man cheated on her with a cousin. The whole family kept ragging on her. She taking care of the house, and then the mama had the money in the damn other room with the uncle the whole damn time. Like, why ain't nobody tell nobody about that? I'm sorry. For me, that sat on my heart, and I love Vanessa Williams. I love her. She's great. So happy birthday to her, and Terry should have got her dues.
Yes. And they were the cast reunited. Before we go real quick, I don't know if you guys seen it, but the cast of Soul Food reunited. The only person that was missing was Nia Long. Now I always wanted to be Bird because I have a connection with her because I always wanted to do hair and I always do the nails and everything. So the character, if I was a character in a movie, I always wanted to be Bird. That would have been the part that I would have went for was Bird. So,
Yeah.
but yes, happy birthday, Queen. You are an inspiration and a shining light. And if you guys missed it also, she's been casted as Miranda Presley in The Devil Wears Prada on Broadway. So make sure you guys please go and check that out. She's done Broadway before, so pivotal impact. And catch Soul Food, as Amiri mentioned as well, too. Cult classic film. Please go and check it out. I think Soul Food should be, 25 now? So if you guys haven't seen it,
Yeah.
make sure you guys go and check it out. And all right, Fashion Dolls, joining me tomorrow, we have William Campbell. Amiri, let everyone know where they can follow you and check out these projects. And again, I'm super, super proud of you.
All right. Yeah. As always, you can follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Amiri NC, AMIRNC for North Carolina. Um, all my projects, if you go under, usually they're either on Amazon or Tubi, but if you just type my name in, Amiri, Amiri, Thompson, on the Tubi, they'll literally upload everything I've been a part of. I found that's the quickest way of doing it. But there's a lot of projects from Take Me to Amazing, the Love app, the Christmas Spirit, um, Dope Boy Magic, Monogamous. God, I was in the Beehive, directed by Nakia Hamilton. Shout out to him, man. He's always been around. OG filmmaker in Wilmington. Uh, Boo Boo the Fool. I'm part of. Oh, Behind Enemy Lines just dropped on Tubi just the other day, and that's been out for a while on another streaming platform. But I'm also starting that with Nelson J. Davis. Me and him are like best friends in that, and if you ain't checked that out, it's a good film. I enjoyed it because I never get to work with him as much as I would like to. So for us to have worked together every day on set, in a sense, it was a great experience, and like I always enjoy him. He's a great actor, man. He does his thing. He always comes ready and prepared, and it's another great film to add to your list to watch and everything. And like I said, look out for Three Secrets coming out, Bunny and Clyde, probably in the next few months. We'll be shooting Hello Karen, like I said, and then maybe this fall or Christmas time, we'll have the Holiday for Harmony.
There you go, Fashion Dolls. Make sure you guys go and follow Amiri. And we will see you guys tomorrow at 4. And Amiri, again, I'm super proud of you. And I can't wait to chat with you again on these upcoming projects. And you guys can check out Monogamous on Tubi. That's one of my favorites. And I got to check out the one where he's Malachi because I'm hearing reviews about it. So I got to see it.
Yeah, check out A Long Way Home, all of them, Doughboy Magic. I'm in there.
There you go, Fashion Dolls, ladies and gentlemen, Amiri Thompson. Amiri, always a pleasure to have you here.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
You are so welcome. You guys take care, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone.
Have a good one. Bye.